From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Well, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Riddle. Thank you for following us on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching on our new smart TV app, Fox 59 Now, make sure you have that downloaded on your Roku, your Fire TV, or on your Apple TV. We're here every night at 8 o'clock to talk about what's happening in Indianapolis and around the world, and something that is affecting all of us is money. Money in this economy can be a little bit funny, especially every day we're telling you about tariffs. We're telling you about prices that are going up. We're telling you about gas prices and other news we've been telling you about. Student loans. The Trump administration says that they will be collecting those after years of allowing those with the previous administration to, for folks not to have to pay them. That is something that is going to be coming due for a lot of people, and that is frightening when you have uh, the economy in the state that it's in, on top of tariffs, on top of everything else. We just finished tax time. We should have had our guest on then to get you some a little tax advice before, but nevertheless, she is here now. India Elliot is a financial advisor. She has uh, all the information on how to keep some money in your pocket. But India, as we talk, you got to spend some money, one to make some money, and you got to spend money, period, no matter how much we want to save it. But in this economy, India, how do we do it? That's the question for you. How are you?
I'm fine,
Mm,
Cameron. Thanks for having me here. I'm so excited. This is such a much needed discussion to have today with this economy, as you stated. And yeah, it takes money. You got to spend a little to make a little. So
mhm.
let's dive into it.
So, the first thing I want to go ahead and tackle is student loans. I owe student loans. Gonna be recovering for that for some time,
Hmm.
and as a lot of people are. So, the first thing when that news came out that hey, there's going to be um, you're gonna have to start paying that back. That scares a lot of people because the prices on that are high, and we're told that there's not going to be as many repayment options, and so I'm sure you've heard from a lot of people asking, India, what do I do with the student loan stuff?
Student loans is such a polarizing debate. You have both sides. One side says, hey, you took out the loan, you pay it back. I think we all agree, the intent of taking out a loan is you pay it back.
Hmm.
But then you have the other side saying, hey, I took out this loan with the intent to better myself, with the intent to make more money, to earn more money, and to have the ability to pay back this loan. And quite frankly, that hasn't happened in a lot of cases, whether it be due to poor decision making or just the economy, the world that we're in today, what have you. It's just tricky. And so, what can we do in a time like this when you do have these loans and the heat is on? We now have to pay these loans back. Um, the first thing you have to all do is just take a look in the mirror and say, hey, where am I spending money that I shouldn't be?
Hmm.
Budgeting 101, right? Just the basics. What can I cut out? Because at the end of the day, if the Trump administration is saying, is if they're cracking down saying we have to pay these loans back, then we have to do what we have to do. We want to avoid um, anything negative happening. We don't want to put ourselves in a deeper hole by allowing it to continue to compound, by allowing that interest to build up, and by ultimately allowing it to impact your credit, which just takes you down this deep, dark rabbit hole of now my credit is messed up. Now I can't get financing for a car or a house or what have you. So I would say start with budgeting, cut out the unnecessary things, factor in the payment that's coming because it is coming.
So when you say factor in, um, a lot of those payment prices are probably going to be quite large,
Mhm.
depending on what the repayment options are. How do you start to look at your budget and say, okay, I've got a car note, I got a mortgage, or I got rent, I've got daycare, we've got gas. How do you start to factor that in? Because it may mean you have to cut something, and where do you even start to figure that out?
It's tough, Cameron. It's really tough. And everybody's situation is different. This is probably a situation where I would say talk to a professional such as myself, because what we'll do is take a real look at your finances. We'll look at what you're spending money on. We'll look at what's necessary and what might not be so necessary. And we will help you make those tough decisions, because bias exists. When we look at our own finances, we think, I can't cut this out.
Mm-hmm.
I need this.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a third party come in and we will start scratching things off. It might hurt a little bit, but it's going to help in the long run. Um, and then also, it's just we have to reframe the way we think about our bills
Mm-hmm.
and the way we prioritize where our money goes.
Um, when it comes to spending, what do you say to people? I mean, when you look at that list of what people are spending each month, does cooking at home
Mm.
actually help? Because you've got to pay for the grocery.
Usually I would say yes, but nowadays with inflation, I think eating at home costs the same as eating out.
Okay.
So, you just gotta be wise. If you eat at home, make a big pot of spaghetti that's gonna last all week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We've got to get strategic here. It used to be that eating at home was much cheaper. Today, maybe not so much.
And, if you do like I do, probably a little too much now, it feels like door dashing and
Oh,
Uber sending food by Uber Eats. There's an additional cost to that, of course, than if I just would have went to go pick it up myself.
no, that's true. Now stay away from those. Those apps they will nickel and dime you. A $10 meal ends up being $55. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
let's stay away from that. Go pick it up yourself if you can. That will help for sure.
Is there when you are I guess we don't know all the details yet, especially with student loans, but if you're especially if you're coming out of you're just coming out of college, do you start paying that student loan right away? What would you advise people?
Again, that's going to vary from person to person. And I would say seek a professional to determine the best path for yourself. But there are options, right? Some people can't afford to start making payments right away. And in some cases, that may be the best option, because you're not obligated to start making payments until 6 months after
Hmm.
graduation. So that time gives you enough time to maybe make small payments to chip away at what's due before it's actually due. And that could be helpful. But another option could be, maybe if you get a large chunk of change while you're in school, maybe you look at investment options or CDs or different things that will allow you to earn interest.
Hmm.
That way, when it's time to start paying those back, your money made a little bit of money and you have a little bit more money to work with to start making those payments.
So you said some acronyms there, some CDs and different things having to do with retirement. And I already know what the answer will be, but when do we start planning for retirement? What should I be doing right now?
Yesterday. We should all be planning for retirement. I'd say from your first real job out of school, start setting up those retirement accounts, start setting up your appointment with your financial advisor. Um, what every investor should know, that time in the market far outweighs timing the market. So the young investor that starts investing early
Hmm.
typically outpaces a more senior investor who starts later in life, who may have more money to contribute to their retirement accounts later in life. But the small amounts that start early on tend to grow much quicker. So
Hmm.
start now. Most companies have a 401k or 403b or whatever. If your company doesn't offer a retirement plan, you can look at an IRA. If you're a business owner, there are different account types for self employed individuals. So wherever you are, there is an account type for you, and it's best to start now.
And how do you know? I get in the mail from the different places I've worked at. I get things from Vanguard, and I'm trying to remember the other ones that come in the mail. Fidelity. Do I need to do anything with those, or because they send me a thing every month, and I do look at them, and sometimes they've made a little money or not at all. But what do I do with it?
It's good to take a peek every now and then to see what's going on because you may notice a trend, either trending upward, and that means things are good,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's flat. I can't tell you how many times I meet with clients and they say nothing has grown, my account's just staying stagnant, and I take a look at it and say you're not invested. So having the account itself does not mean you're invested
Mm-hmm.
inside of the account.
Mm-hmm.
You might just be putting money in your retirement account and it's sitting there like cash in
Mm-hmm.
a checking or savings account.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get it in the market,
Mm-hmm.
in an investment vehicle to start growing. So that's the first thing. Take a peek at it, but don't overly watch it because the market goes up and it
Mm-hmm.
goes down and it
Mm-hmm.
does everything in between, and it can
Mm-hmm.
drive you insane watching it too closely. So leave that to the professionals. Let us look at it. Let us give you the advice and tell you if changes need to be made, if we need to take a closer look or close your eyes. The
Mm-hmm.
past couple of months, my advice has been close your eyes. We set you up for success when you have a professional setting you up, typically you're already positioned to ride the ups and the downs of the market. So we don't care that things look crazy. You're already positioned. So for each person getting those statements in the mail, take a peek, see what the trend is, and from there, talk to someone who can guide you to let you know if you're on the right track or not.
So I'm pretty sure, and I'm guessing off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that the one that I have for Fidelity is probably for this station because I still work here and therefore it continues to grow. I've got another one for a school district that I used to work for, and it's flat. One, because I don't work there, so it's not adding, and I didn't have any conversations about it being invested anywhere. So essentially, uh, I wouldn't say we're wasting money, but we're wasting potential by just letting that sit there if you're not going to invest it.
hmm hmm So, and that happens a lot when you change employers. That old retirement account at your old employer tends to sit there. A couple of things to know about that: you may be getting charged fees.
Mhm,
Once you leave that company, you will start to be charged because that they're housing your account and you're no longer there. So it's important that when you do change companies, see what your options are to roll it over, to cash it out, or whatever. You have
mhm.
many options. Explore those options. Sometimes it's okay to leave it there, but sometimes it's not. And then also, are you still invested properly? When you
Mhm.
leave that company, if you leave that account there for years and years, chances are you're not invested properly. You may be far too conservative or too aggressive if you were younger and invested it a certain way years ago. So, yeah, definitely. I would never recommend you leave that account without first seeing what your options are, seeing what fees might be being charged, and seeing what your other alternative investment options are to see if it's better on the other side.
And if nothing else, again, if you leave it there, it will get, and you notice it's going down
Mm,
year after year. That's that fee eating you up.
hmm So a fee is eating you up and you're not growing with the market. That's the whole point. And then you're also forfeiting compounding interest by leaving that account there. If you combine all of your retirement assets or more of your
Mhm.
retirement assets, you're going to get a compounding interest effect. It's going to grow exponentially as opposed to having small accounts sprinkled everywhere, earning a small amount of interest.
So you're saying I probably should talk to my financial advisor about consolidating some of these accounts.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Because I always hear people say, should I leave that money there? Should I roll it over? Should I pull it out? I know there's fees sometimes when you pull it out, but are there fees when you roll it over to a new account?
Could be.
Okay.
Could be. And we help you weigh that cost to see if it's worth it or not. If you get an honest, good advisor, that person or she
Hmm.
will tell you whether or not it's a good move for you to make.
So, okay. So we talked about the kind of the beginning is of course that student loan just to get you started. And then on the end. So it's hard to like, okay, how do I think about planning for retirement when I'm trying to recover from student loans? Like this middle overlaps the beginning and the what's supposed to be the end towards your retirement. And so that is hard. How would you tell somebody like, yes, it is hard, but you got to figure out how to balance, you got to do all of the above.
You got to do all the things, and that's what's tough. And um, it's really a heavy weight in today's economy. It's kind of like making the decision to pay the mortgage or to pay your life insurance or to pay your car insurance. Like you need it all. It's all important. We have to figure out a way to manage it all. And I wish there was a magic wand I could wave or some kind of magic word I could say that made it possible to just easily pay them all. But the truth is, it's not a matter of should I, because you should pay your student loans. You should pay all the important bills that we have. And it's about figuring out either how to earn more or how to save better or how to budget better so that we can make it all happen simultaneously.
Is in this economy, I mean, what are economists saying? It seems that we're not in the greatest of economies that people advertise that we were in, because when you talk about the markets, you're telling people not to pay too much attention because we got this tariff business going on, and it's affecting stocks. And so, what I want you to explain one is somebody like me who's not about to retire. This up and down of the stock market is I'll be okay. The issue is going to is for people who are about to retire
That's right.
because like imminently because that that ebb and flow affects their current balances, right?
That's absolutely correct. As you approach retirement, there are steps that should be made ahead of time, maybe even up to 10 years prior to. And each year, as you get closer and closer to your anticipated retirement date, your portfolio should start to change drastically. It should start to accommodate for the fact that you will no longer be earning an income and that you plan to start spending the funds that you once were saving and growing and investing probably very aggressively. And so sometimes what that looks like is changing up your investment portfolio so that you're not impacted so greatly by the swings of the market. Sometimes it's considering all new investment vehicles altogether. And sometimes it's increasing your cash position so that when the market does become volatile like this, you can let it sit until it rebounds and you can rely on your cash on hand in the meantime. So, yes, if you are approaching retirement, I'd say within 5 to 10 years, you more than anyone need to start considering the changes that you should make to prepare to start using those funds.
And now, if you're about to retire, do you need to? I guess what you don't want people to do is go panic and start pulling stuff out. Like, don't
Mhm.
do that.
Do not do that. That's almost the worst thing you can do is pull money out in a down market because your money it's in the market, it's going up, 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 and then it crashes and you panic and you pull it out. Well, guess what? There's no recovering anymore. You
Hmm.
took it out, you're done. You're out of the game. You can't get that money back. But if you have the patience and the tolerance to withstand those ups and downs, just know that what goes down, it will go back up, and what goes up, it comes down. It's a flow. Um, Wait it out. Again, get a professional on your team. I don't know why. It's common knowledge that if you're sick or you have concerns about your body, we go to the doctor. We don't think twice.
Hmm.
Well, money funds you going to that doctor. Money funds you going to the dentist. Why don't we all have professionals to help us manage our money so that we can pay those student loans, so that we can go to the doctor, so that we can do all these things, so that we can retire comfortably and have peace of mind. Get a professional on your team, get a plan in place. And I'm not talking about get someone to tell you what hot stock to buy.
Hmm.
Get someone who's going to do a full on retirement analysis for you that can tell you how much to save, when to save, how to properly invest it to reach your goal. What is your goal? We help you define all of those things.
So you just talked about talking to professionals. Explain to people real quick, what a financial advisor does versus a person who's going to tell you what you should be investing in.
That's great. And it's good. I've been both, right? I started as a stockbroker. And as a stockbroker, if you work with someone like that, we're just going to help you buy the stock. You're going to call me and say, hey, I want to buy this stock, and we're going to place that trade for you. No advice. We're not going to tell you if that's a good move to make or a bad move to make. And there are lots of stockbrokers out there who can help you. But a financial advisor, and more specifically, a fiduciary, is someone who is going to, or who is obligated to, help you define your goals and help you reach those goals. Whether or not they financially benefit us or not, we are obligated as fiduciaries to do what's in your best interest. So, as a client, when you come to a financial advisor and say, my goal is to retire in 10 years, my goal is to have this much income, we're going to map that out. We're going to say, okay, this is how much we need to be saving from here on out. This is the way we need to be investing from here on out. Here are some of the investment vehicles that you should consider to help you accomplish that, to maybe mitigate your tax impact. And therefore, a financial advisor is someone who's going to look at your picture holistically. Also, we're not just looking at your retirement account, we'll look at your checking and savings, we'll look at your children's 529s or your children's education savings accounts, and we'll put it all together and make it make sense and work for you.
And then a stockbroker, which is what you used to do, and I'm curious to know which one you enjoyed more. It would seem to me, I would. Well, I'm going to let you answer because how it goes in my brain. A financial advisor works for you to help benefit you, usually saving you money. Is how it goes in my mind. And in some cases, saving where you create savings, it could make you money. Where it seems to me a stockbroker's job is to make you money.
Mm, that's a good way to look at it. I'd say a stockbroker's job really is to just execute on what you want. So a stockbroker is someone that you can lean on and you can say, hey, these are the things I want to do. I just need help doing it. And we'll say, okay, let's do it.
Mhm.
No questions asked. Whereas a financial advisor might say, I hear what you're saying, but that might not be the best decision for you to make. And here's why.
Okay. Okay. So there is a I guess there's a little more duty
Yes,
with the financial advisor
for sure.
versus a stockbroker is they I'm sure somebody might tell you like, I don't know if I do that. But if that's what you want to do, Chief, how much you want to put on, Apple, okay, let's do it.
So there are licenses and credentials involved with being a stockbroker and a financial advisor. So a lot of stockbrokers don't have the licenses to be able to give you advice. There's the big difference. A
Mhm.
stockbroker is more transactional.
Okay.
A stockbroker will just execute on what you command, and that's it. Additional licensing allows them to become the advisor, or if they're not an advisor and still a stockbroker, that additional licensing will allow them to say, um, maybe this is not the best decision, or here's a better decision to make.
Hmm.
And so those are things to look at too when you're seeking out a professional, um, a Series 7, a Series 66 licensed individual. Those are some of the top licenses that you need to help you reach your goals.
So again, a stockbroker does not really give you advice. Their job is to be the agent to get done what it is you are trying to
That's right.
accomplish. Where a financial advisor has more of a duty to tell you that may not be the greatest idea. I'm sure, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but if you're paying somebody for their advice, probably should listen to them. And you have a duty as a financial advisor not to give bad advice.
That's correct. And as a financial advisor, we can object to
Mhm.
what you want if we know that that is not a good decision to make, and you will be in jeopardy, and my role as your fiduciary is questioned at that point. We can decide not to make that decision for you.
Mhm, mhm. We're going to talk about credit cards. We're going to talk about tariffs and how we balance all of this, particularly the credit cards, because that is something that impacts a lot of people. Um, and you can quickly get underwater. We'll talk about what all those terms mean and the best advice. Credit, debit, what do you do? More of Fox 59 tonight. It's coming right up.